Hello, I'm the 10-minute English teacher. Let's get you exam ready. Today, I'm going to be helping you to revise Macbeth with my Act 2 revision quiz. Before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe. There are plenty of things on the channel to help you revise Macbeth. Okay, let's get going with my Act 2 revision quiz. Question number 1. At the beginning of Act 2, Banquo speaks with Fleance, his son, in Macbeth's castle in Inverness. What is his response when he hears Macbeth approach in the dark? Is it A, he tells Fleance to run, or is it B, he calls for his sword? Question number 2. In scene 2, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth discuss the murders of King Duncan and his guards. Why didn't Lady Macbeth kill the king herself? A, she says murder is not befitting a lady. B, she says Duncan resembled her father. Question number 3. Lady Macbeth tells a worried Macbeth he is looking at things through the eye of what? Is it A, foolishness? Is it B, infirmity? Or is it C, childhood? Question number 4. When he talks about the blood on his hands, which god does Macbeth speak of? Is it A, Hades? Is it B, Neptune? Or is it C, Zeus? Question number 5. Whilst Macbeth voices his regret, there is a knocking on the castle door. Who wants to be let in? Is it A, Macduff? Or is it B, Banquo? Question number 6. What does the porter joke about being as he opens the doors of the castle? Is it A, underpaid? Is it B, the gatekeeper of hell? Or is it C, St. Peter? Question number 7. What does Lady Macbeth do to detract attention away from Macbeth as he is questioned about his killing of the guards and his discovering of the body of King Duncan? Does she A, begin to weep? Does she B, pretend to faint? Does she C, turn attention to Malcolm and Donalbain? Or D, does she suggest that what's happened is like a Greek myth? Question number 8. Now that Duncan is dead, Malcolm and Donalbain decide to flee. They're both going to go to different locations because they fear that whoever's killed their father might be interested in killing them too in order to claim the crown. Where do they decide to go to? Is it A, Malcolm will go to Ireland and Donalbain will go to England? Is it B, Malcolm will go to Scone and Donalbain to Fife? Or is it C, Malcolm will go to England and Donalbain to Ireland? Question number 9. What unnatural thing happened the night King Duncan died? There's a bit of a conversation a little while shortly after, and they're recalling the time that Duncan was killed, and there's mention of an unnatural act occurring. Is it A, his horse is running away? Is it B, crickets crying in the night? Or is it C, owls screaming? And lastly, question number 10. Who's not going to go to Scone to see Macbeth be crowned as king? Is it A, Macduff? Or is it B, Banquo? Okay, we're going to review the answers now. Let's see how many you got right. Feel free to add some analysis to your notes as we do, or just listen along and revise with me as we go through the answers. Question number 1, the beginning of Act 2. Banquo is speaking with Fleance in Macbeth's castle. What's his response when he hears Macbeth approach? He calls for his sword. Now, we've got to remember that Banquo and Macbeth are close friends. They fought alongside each other in battle. It's a bit unsettling that Banquo is feeling so fearful in the home of Macbeth. So that does suggest that he's not completely trusting of his friend Macbeth. In scene 2, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth discuss the murders of King Duncan and his guards. Why didn't Lady Macbeth kill the king herself? She says that it's because Duncan resembled her father as he slept. Otherwise, she says that she would have killed him herself. I don't think there's anything for us to worry about in regards to her being ladylike or worrying about that. She's already spoken to spirits and she said, unsex me here and take my milk for gall. So Shakespeare doesn't want us to see Lady Macbeth in any way as ladylike, and she shuns all maternal instincts or ideas prior to the killing of King Duncan in Act 1. Number 3, Lady Macbeth tells a worried Macbeth he is looking at things through the eye of what? Well, she does call him foolish. She says a foolish thing to say a sorry sight to him. She says infirm of purpose when Macbeth is in a panic, but she says that he's looking at things through the eye of childhood, constantly challenging his masculinity and trying to undermine him and infantilise him in order to manipulating him into serving her ends. Question number 4, when he talks about the blood on his hands, which god does Macbeth speak of? It's Neptune, a Roman god, and he says that will all of Neptune's great oceans wash this blood clean from my hands? So that idea of blood on his hands never being able to be ridden of is something that he mentions in Act 2. Lady Macbeth is quite impatient with Macbeth in this moment, but ironically she will end up seeing blood on her own hands as she sleepwalks later on in the play. Question number 5. Whilst Macbeth voices his regrets, there's a knocking at the castle door. Who wants to be let in? It's Macduff. It's quite interesting that you've got this incessant thumping on the castle doors as Macbeth is in a fit of panic. The fact that that's Macduff is placing those two characters in opposition and setting up that final battle between the two of them later in the play. What does the porter joke about being as he opens the doors of the castle? Well, he probably would be underpaid, but it's the gatekeeper of hell that he makes jokes about being. This scene is quite interesting. We've just had the king, his murder being discussed. We've got Macbeth with blood on his hands and all of that real tension that's created in that moment of regret from him. So the tension's broken a little bit with this character joking about being the gatekeeper of hell. But at the same time, it's symbolic. It's suggesting that Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, their deeds will lead to their damnation. It's also interesting that he's letting Macduff in at this point, Macduff being a latecomer to the celebrations at Macbeth's castle. That's putting him in opposition with Macbeth. What does Lady Macbeth do to detract attention away from Macbeth as he is questioned about the killing of the guards? Well, she pretends to faint, and at that point, after Macbeth's being questioned, and he looks like he might be on the ropes, he's having to get his story straight and recall his story to others, and it seems incredible to them. So Lady Macbeth at this point pretends to faint, and that's when Macduff says, "Look to the lady," and everyone then attends to Lady Macbeth, and it gives Macbeth a little bit of a break from the pressure that he's under as people are questioning him. We remember that Macbeth is already feeling very, very remorseful, filled with regret and dread, so she manages to detract the attention away from him because she is, whilst wicked, very intelligent. Question number 8. Now that Duncan is dead, Malcolm and Donalbain decide to flee. They are both fearful that whoever's killed their father may be intending on killing them next in order to claim the throne. Where do they decide to go? Well, Malcolm goes to England and Donalbain goes to Ireland. Donalbain we don't see again. Malcolm will go to England, and there he will meet up with his father's brother and his cousins, and they will begin to get an army together to take on Macbeth. Macduff eventually will go and join them in England, and then that army will head towards Macbeth's castle in order to storm that castle at the end of the play. Question number 9. What unnatural thing happened the night that Duncan died? So recalling the night of Duncan's death happens at the end of Act 2, and in a conversation between Macduff and others, they talk about King Duncan's horses having run away the night that he was murdered, and it's said that they've been eating each other in the woods somewhere. The reason that that's interesting is it's unnatural. Horses don't eat each other, and this really distressing idea that the king's horses have run away and have turned on each other is there to symbolise the idea that the natural order has been upset, that great chain of being, the idea that the throne is something that is overseen by God himself, and that Macbeth, his murder of King Duncan, that treason is so unnatural. That's being reflected by this idea of his horses having run away. And lastly, question number 10. Who is it that is not going to scone to see Macbeth be crowned as king? It's Macduff. At the end of this act, at the end of Act 2, we've got a conversation with Macduff, and he's asked if he's going to be going to Scone to see Macbeth be crowned. He doesn't mention that he's suspicious of Macbeth, but he just says, no, he's not going. I'll to Fife, he says, which is where he lives. He's the Thane of Fife. He doesn't give any excuses. He just says that he's going to Fife to be with his family. So we already can see that maybe Macduff is slightly suspicious of Macbeth. It's interesting that he's the knocking as Macbeth is in a real moment of vulnerability, and he's the one who finds King Duncan, and he's the one who at this point is choosing not to go and see Macbeth be crowned. So we're setting Macduff up as an oppositional character to Macbeth, and of course Macduff is going to be involved in Macbeth's downfall later in the play. Okay, check out the other videos on my channel. I'll continue to add content. Feel free to ask something you'd like to see me cover in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share, and keep revising.